Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast Slice of Life with Madhavi, featuring Young India. And today's topic is what young Indians want. We just had our Republic Day, so thought why not ask these young Indians what they are looking for. And we have Mubeen, who is an entrepreneur and works with students. So his insights will be very important for us to understand what these young Indians are looking for. Start with Bhargavi. Why don't you introduce yourself and then maybe Aryan and then Mubeen?
Hi, my name is Bhargavi. I'm currently studying in 12th grade. I have my boards in coming month. I'm a commerce student. I love to write poetry and I like to do casual reading.
Welcome, Bhargavi. Aryan. Yeah.
My name is Aryan. I am currently 17. I'm gonna give my boards in March, and I'm from commerce stream. I love dance and cooking. I've been a choreographer for 1.5 years and served as a tutor too. So that's basically me. Thank you.
Sounds interesting. Yeah. Mubeen.
Hey, hi everyone. So I'm Mubeen. I've been a teacher for most of my last 10 years, ever since I graduated from college. Last few years I've spent on working with other educators who are now trying to transition online to make their lives easier. But most of the time over the past 1 decade, I've spent with high school students or younger students to guide them, to mentor them with regard to their professional or academic aspirations.
Yeah. Thank you, Mubeen, and welcome. Welcome, everyone. So, so the first question that I have is, as 17 years old, right? What do you, what are your aspirations? Like, what do you want to do? And what do you expect from India?
So if I imagine like an India of like my want or something that would cater to my needs, wants or something. First of all, I want a better education system, to be honest, that doesn't give us the choice of like choosing our streams right at the age of 15, because it is difficult, whatever you say. Like, it's been going for past decades, I know that, but it's still difficult to choose your fields at the ripe age of 15. You don't know much stuff, you don't get a lot of things, and still you have to choose a thing that gonna decide the next 5 or 6 years. So that's a pretty difficult decision to make. And the second thing is that the level of competition that is growing, I think it's kind of stressful to all students right now, and with no with not like proper mental health facilities provided to students, can get a lot worse, and it's getting a lot worse as India's suicide rates are just pushing up higher numbers every year, and the one of the large chunk of that people dead by suicide is students. So that's pretty concerning, I think so.
Oh, wow. That was very insightful. Thank you. Bhargavi.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, as you asked, first of all, I aspired to do something in the economics field. I don't know what yet or like what I'm exactly gonna do, but I have like keen interest in like economics. And what I want from India is to give voice to people who don't have right now currently. Like we are here having a podcast here, we have a voice and we are discussing here what we want from India. But this is like barely, like we are barely the 1% population, like the youth of India. There are so many Indians there who don't have a voice, who can't actually say their problems, or we don't really notice their problems because we are uh, just we are just confused with our problems and everything. So I want is that everyone should have one voice. Like the government should like have a proper and like well distribution of like education, because there is a lot of upper class, lower class education in that as well. There is like but I feel like there are so many rural kids who don't even think that like education is their priority right now. They want to work and everything. So I want like the government to do something about the education and like to give every person who a voice or at least knowledge that they can speak about it, because many people don't even know that like they are allowed to speak on this what they want.
Oh, nice. That was quite interesting to know. Mubin, as an entrepreneur and as someone who has taught kids, um, what do you think these kids are, looking from India and what they need from India as a country, as a support, or, you know, anything that they are looking for? Like these two said, education system needs to work on. There should be mental health facilities. There, everyone should get a voice. What do you think are the perspectives of the students that you work with?
Yeah, I think like just to, of course, these guys know far better than me because they are the students who, on whose behalf I'm supposed to speak right now. Like with regard to mental health and everything, I think that's like treating the symptom. The fundamental problem with regard to education, especially for students that I see, is scarcity of opportunities. What Aryan was saying, that there are very limited opportunities, so the competition is huge. So there are lots of people chasing very few opportunities, which leads to stress. And parents are aware of it. Like my generation is aware of it. So like tomorrow, if I have kids, like I would also kind of like pressurize them to go after these very few opportunities because frankly, there's not much, which adds to the stress of students. So I think one thing that is like very critical and very urgent is to increase the diversity as well as the volume of opportunities that are there for students. And second to what Bhargavi said, even when that is done, like we are like a very fairly unequal society. There, like I teach kids in Kashmir, despite being economically or intellectually well off, they do not have exposure to educational opportunities the kind someone in Delhi or Bangalore would have. So introducing mechanisms where or figuring out an admission criteria that is fair so that like our education system in general becomes more equal, more equitable, so that people from all strata, all geographies of the society actually have voice, which education could give them, what Bhargavi was saying.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, Aryan, I understand that you said that, at the age of 15, we should not be given a choice to choose our career. So, what should, how can it be made feasible or, useful for the students? What do you think? How, as as a country, or how as we as citizens can help those students who are deciding their careers at the age of 15?
I think one of the most, plausible solutions, or one of the most realistic solutions should be at getting more academic counselors, to be honest, because it was not long before when I took my decision to choose commerce, and the same thing happened with every one of my friend and people that I know, to be honest, because our choices are like guide are not mostly not us taking the choice. It's mostly our family, mostly our relatives, mostly the the bhaiya or the bhabhi that we had, and we asked them that what should we do, what's the most coping field today, and it's not wrong to ask these, and the answers are always not wrong. They are somewhat there are some advices that can make our career a little better in this really competitive world, which is, to be honest, we have to accept that. But I think with a large number of academic counselors, I think we can help all students to have a better choice that they can not regret, basically. Because difficulties are there in every field right now. If you take literally any field, like if even if it's science, engineering, doctorate, or even the new fields such as psychology or even comedy, every place is just so competitive nowadays days that everything is difficult. So basically the whole reason that I would suggest is that the whole thing that we have to focus on a student's life is that they should not regret after taking a career after 2 or 3 years. Yeah, ये क्यों ले लिया यार, मेरे को ये नहीं लेना था, इस तरह से. So this line should not come. That should be the whole motive of education, because difficulties are going to come and go. But this regret is basically that we have to clear out in this country, because every person somehow and someday feels this. I think so.
Great. Mubeen, as a educator, someone who has worked with students, what do you think can be done? As he said, there could be counselors, but how we can tell them that there are so many options? Of course, competition will be there thanks to the population of the country. And how can, as you said, how can we diversify their options? If you can throw some light on this.
I think the biggest challenge right now is that the education system expects students to kind of decide what they want to work on without actually knowing how to work and what all options are there. So that is the biggest challenge, more than the counseling. So I think that is where counseling comes into picture, in terms of it has to be slightly more practical, uh, to give students at a younger age when they are in class 7th, 8th, 9th, so that to give them practical exposure into what different fields actually mean. Like if people choose economics, if people choose commerce, what kind of like the theoretical knowledge. I think counseling does a fairly good job in providing the theoretical knowledge, in terms of, like, you could just search it online as well. If I take commerce, what are the opportunities I have? But the problem is the practical knowledge of it. So I think counseling needs to become more practical. That could probably solve the problem somehow.
Okay. And that was insightful. And I really liked that Aryan spoke about, these new fields like psychology, or he said that mental health is such a big issue. I mean, we at ThatMate are trying to, work with students and trying to give, like, help them with counseling, like mental health counseling, also provide them with a self-guided app. But there is a so much, stigma around it, that we pushing this to the students, because we get requests from students that we need counseling, but can we do it on over a WhatsApp chat, or can we like not talk, because they need help and we are reaching to them, but the problem is they're not I think they are not open to talk to their parents about it. They're somehow not comfortable talking to the parents. I guess somehow parents are ignoring their mental health situation, and that's why the stress and these problems are coming in. So I would like to know from you guys. So as you said, for getting more and more options, maybe we can have more counselors, but how to talk to the parents? What you guys think? Like, you are that age students, how you can convince your parents, or if there you think that you might need help, or your friend will need help, how you are going to convey it to your parents or their parents?
Well, personally, if I say, I don't really have that problem with my parents because I'm very candid with my parents. But I've seen that problem in a lot of my friends. Like they have like some mental health thing going on in their mind. They are like occupied with something else, but they have to blame it on like I have a stomach ache, I have a headache, just so that they can be left alone. They can't really convey to their parents that I'm stressed, I don't know this, I'm having these issues. Cause like somehow like they also know that like our parents have worked very hard. I don't want to disappoint them with this stuff. That also like pressure is in them. And like about conveying, I just wanted to like you can't really like drop a bomb on them as well, like you can't just tell them one day that hey, I'm having mental health problems, you need to do something about it. No, you have to build a relationship with your parents like slowly by slowly, like by anything, like by sharing small stuff to seeing how comfortable they can get on everything. And if they are not getting comfortable about it, we have to talk about it with them. We can't just like we have to understand them as well. Okay, like in this like generation, it's very common, like in like because of social media, everyone knows about mental health problems, and everyone knows what's going on, what types of things everyone is suffering, and everyone also knows that they are not alone in this. That's the one thing I find useful in social media. Like everyone is going through something, but our parents don't know that they think like, ah, we also went through this generation, we pulled it off like anything, you can also do it. But they don't understand that like we can understand things now, like we know what's happening to us, and it's like it sucks because like we know what's happening but we can't do anything. That's the real feeling of helplessness. So I just like, if I were like, if my parents were not really comfortable with all these subjects, I would start talking about it more, like more and more, and make them comfortable with this. I will not, like, I'll remove the taboo on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this idea where, just over communicate, communicate or over communicate things so that they're told clearly that, oh, dude, this is happening to me. Please help. What do you suggest, Aryan? I guess Aryan.
I'm not the best. I'm really not the best person to answer this question because I've been like suffering this for a lot. While talking to my parents about mental health and stuff, I had really big arguments that I'm remembering right now. So it's not my domain to speak, but what I've learned after having so many quarrels, argument with my parents is that talk openly whatever you're feeling, whatever you are, having building on inside, just talk openly without any filters, without any barriers. It's one of the best things that I have learned throughout uh, the last 2 years. Because I think overthinking, procrastination is one of the biggest challenges that students face during these times, especially in the last 2 years. Because to be honest, these last 2 years have actually changed the whole scenario of India regarding mental health. While 2 3 years back, where there was like a very little less talk about mental health or depression or anxiety. If now after 2 years, I think everyone knows about something about the stuff. So I think there is opening up of talk about mental health, and it's just a matter of time that we will remove the stigma around mental health. Because come on, we are the next generation, right? And the generation who has actually suffered the whole depression and known about it, I think they tell the best, to be honest. So yeah, this is the entire my perspective on this topic, but I don't think I have an adequate knowledge anything being right now.
No, that was great to know. Um, Mubin, three things that you think from, your students, from the background that you come from, or from the students you have taught, three things that they are looking to change in the country, or they want for sure ki mujhe ye chahiye. So like, um, for me, like for in like next 20 years, or for me, I think if मैं रात को 11 बजे भी I'm traveling safely, I guess that is something I would like to be in the country, where I would like to have more, health budget to be allocated by our finance minister. Or today we just had the budget, so more health, more money towards health, like health budget should be more. And like the third thing would be, yeah, infrastructure, where uh, everything is accessible. Like I know there are places where people have smartphones, there is geo and everything, but the roads are not there. So yes, connectivity is something, through roads, not through only internet. But yeah, these three things are something that I think are important for me as a woman, or as a person working on mental health, or as a citizen of India. What do you think are those three things for the students as well as for you?
Yeah, okay. I'll speak on behalf of the students first. So I think based on what I've heard, like again, this may be representative of the students whom I have interacted with. One is that like the place where I come from, like, it's still like very conventional fields like medicine and engineering are something that are preferred, especially by the older generation. So students are kind of pressurized into it. So I think the first thing my students want is a discussion, a narrative beyond these two, beyond the science, so that they could see where the world has gone and world has moved forward, and avail those opportunities as well. That is one. Second is in terms of, like, this is something that I discussed often with my students. Like, when we look at avenues of entertainment, avenues of enjoying, like avenues of recreation, there's a lot that is there for people who are older than 20, 25. There are many things they can do. There are many things that, people who are younger than 10, 12, they can do. There are a lot of stuff. But when it comes to the age group of 12 to 18, there's not much, frankly, especially in our social spaces, in our public places. There's not much for them to do. So they are kind of like, they have to stick to online virtual world, which can get depressing and has side effects that I'm sure are spoken of in far more detail than I can. So that is the second thing, like having avenues of entertainment, avenues of recreation for that age group in our public places, not just online. And third is, I think, because this generation is the future of humanity, and as world is becoming more and more open to diversity, I think it's the right age when these adolescents, interact with each other in the real world, not just online. So avenues of like cultural exchange and things like that should be there, which currently happen only in college and university for the very few. If something like that could happen at a younger age across government schools, private schools in the country, I think that would be great for unity of not just the country, but the world.
You can tell us. Yeah, Mubeen, you were going to tell us about you as well. What do you think are the three top
I
things
think
that
it's
you
very
want?
difficult. It's very easy to talk on behalf of others. It's difficult to talk on behalf of your own. I don't think I have a different, like, because I'm so deeply entrenched into the lives of my students. I think I would just repeat the same thing. Like, I think if we solve for the future generation, our generation's problems would be automatically taken care of.
At least one different thing.
Okay, one different thing. I'll think about it and come back to it in the end. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yeah, Bhargavi.
Well, I agree with most of his points, but I don't know. He mostly said everything what I had in my mind as well, like more in fact. So yeah, I don't have any saying it right now.
Okay. So we were discussing what are the three things that you would like to change in India in the coming years. Bhargavi, why don't you go first? Go next after Mubeen.
Okay, so three things I want to change is that first, a safety of like Indians, like not only like safety in the sense like if you're walking in at night and like we need protection, not only in that way, but like also health and hygiene wise, because I don't think it's been promoted properly. Another thing is like education system. It's not like 100% I want to change it, but the approach towards teaching new things, I want to change that. And third is like I want everyone to have a voice again, as I told earlier. I want everyone to at least be aware that they are allowed to have an opinion and talk about it.
How will you ensure it? So you are saying that, everyone should have a voice. We have already freedom of speech in the country. So how do you think you will ensure that? Or how do you think that the country should ensure that?
Okay, it's like yeah, there is a law that there is a freedom of speech. But okay, I'll give you an example. There is an editing app, okay, and there are all features in that editing app. But does that mean that you know how to use it? No, right? So like people don't know that there are laws and they can say about it. We need to tell them that yeah, you are allowed to say that nothing will happen to you. They need like okay, like they need some like proof or like validation that like they won't be harmed by that. They need assurance after that.
Okay.
So yeah.
And when you say that you want to change the education system, what exactly you want to bring in over there?
Yeah, so like right now it's all about theory, okay? So it's not anything about practical knowledge. And as Aryan also said earlier that like people don't know what to select at like the age of 15. So I want like there are in so many other countries, people are like giving practical and hands-on experience of the fields they're like somewhat interested in like since fourth grade, not only like after like high school or anything, little bit experience. So I want that school should give like hands-on experience on different topics so that kids will actually know what they're interested in by the point they're like 15.
Got it. Thank you. That was really insightful. Aryan, what about you? Three things that you would like to change in the country, or three things that you expect from the country, whatever works.
I think one of the things that I would expect from a country is, first of all, as Bhagvi said, a little bit of more freedom of speech, not just in like mere statement, because we know that there is limited freedom of speech. I suppose say if even if it's written in our constitution, because if we had freedom of speech, comedians won't get arrested because of their jokes. So I don't think we have, freedom of speech in the most liberal form. So, and the second thing is that I think, yes, our education system has fault, but I don't think there is a perfect education system in the world. Means even the best education systems like Japan or US has high number of suicide rates, right? So we can't say it's the best on just on academic performance. It should have some mental health areas as well. And if I talk about India in specific, in terms of education, not just in the quantity of education, I think we are doing that with the NEP, the new education policy, the whatever the laws that are being made for the new high school students. Even in if we talk about like in higher education, for like college or PG, uh, I remember there this new college named Masters Union, which even surpassed the IIM Ahmedabad's average package, and it just opened like 2 years back. So I think we are advancing our education as we grow each day. We can't compare it to ourselves to US or Finland just now, because we are having a very diverse demographic situations here, and it's just been 75 years since we have crossed our independence. So I think we are on the stepping stones. So it's been changing, and I think all the needs that I want as an individual in India are being on way. So I don't want to criticize it in any way, and just hope that whatever's been planning as been told to us actually happens and does not go in just in paper. That's all I want.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, as I said, like the three things that I want from the country is more budget for into goes to health. Then, of course, security of women. I would say more of Uber and Ola have done it because now I can take a taxi at 4 a.m. in the morning or 2 a.m. in the morning and feels confident and safe. However, I think still there are places where this safety may not be there or is there. So I guess that, and yeah, so these two are like, and plus connectivity. So these three things will always be my priority on my priority list. But apart from that, I would also say that from us, like what Indians can do better to for a better future is somewhere like simple things like Swachh Bharat. Like whenever we go to beaches or whenever we walk on the road, we see that there is so much kachra all around. I mean, this is like the least thing that we can do as a citizen, right? कि इधर उधर कचरा मत फैलाओ यार. I mean, I saw a picture on Facebook that day. An IS officer had posted that that too on the Vande Bharat train, that this is the scene, like everywhere there was kachra. I was like, come on, this is not something that we as Indians should do. We should be mindful of these things कि कहीं पे भी कचरा नहीं फेंकना है. फिर उसके बाद yes, time पे आना है, time पे जाना है. Like what I have seen, there is always an Indian standard time. You know, if there are people who have to join at 10:30, they'll join. They're always fashionably late. अरे तुम लोग Indian time से आना चाहते हो या दूसरे time से? So this is what has been uh, uh, you know, सबको ऐसा लगता है कि Indians are fashionably late and they are never punctual. So that is something should come to Indians. And I guess the third, I guess these are two important things that I think that Indians should imbibe. Other than that, uh, yeah, I think trolling people on Twitter, I guess this is our new forte. When I think what Indians are good at, it's about like trolling. So so that is something we should really keep a check on. And yeah, try other sports than cricket. I guess this is high time when we switch our interest from cricket to other sports. So but I would like to know from you guys, what do you think should be like 3 or 4 things that we as Indians should do? Of course, you told that what India can change, but we as Indian, what can we bring on the table? Especially you guys,
Right.
because you are
First,
the next
yeah.
generation.
Firstly, I would say that being open-minded, like being open to everything. Like there are so many people judgmental towards small things. That's why other people are like they are suffering to just express themselves, their ideas, and that's why some great ideas are being suppressed. So I want like every like new generation to be please be open-minded. And another thing about yeah, sports, please. Like, I don't particularly like. I can play cricket, but I don't particularly enjoy playing cricket because it's like so common. Everyone plays cricket. Everyone has this one obsession. I totally agree with you. But like, yeah, some new sports will be welcomed. Like at least like not like there are so many sports, obviously, but like they should be more hyped, like just like cricket. And
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe Aryan can go next.
So I think the response that we can change in this, we can change like in India as citizens is that first being responsible towards our surroundings. I think we are the that kind of people who say कि एक दिन कि यार देश में कितनी देश में कितना करप्शन है, क्यों लोग घूस खाते हैं, the next day we'll go to a government office and give more 1,000 rupees to an employee and say भैया अभी जल्दी से हम लोग काम करवा दो. So this is the kind of hypocrisy that goes, that's really normal between us, that we like to blame everything and that don't look at ourselves. So this is the thing, that this hypocrisy in us should change somewhere. I think the second thing is basically cleanliness. This is being changed and that's really good. I've seen it in so many people right now that even if you are eating a packet of chips like Lay's, don't throw it somewhere, just keep it in your pocket. It's convenient nowadays, just keep it in your pocket and just throw it in a dustbin. Dustbins are at every shop and nobody will stop you, don't throw at my dustbin. Nobody would say that, so do that. Third thing is that I wanna, as citizens, that we have to do is that um I think we should go, every one of us goes volunteering at every weekend if you get time. And most people do, but they don't say that they have. I think people just want to call themselves busy, but I think most of us should go volunteering on like in every now and then, because I think it opens your eyes. It does. Like being a teenager nowadays just feels so awkward sometimes because everyone is just pushing it new words, new ideas, new genders, new sexualities every day, that it's hard to keep up to everything. And I'm from a small city. Raipur is still a small city, and we don't I don't I get this also from internet, but so it just feels so left behind, or like FOMO thing, that how the world is going on in such a speed trend. But when you go at volunteering and see, and try to help people, try to make a small change at somebody's day, uh,
I think that gives you the realization that whatever is going on, these are some things that are gonna be constant in human nature, and I think it will give you some amount of peace or relaxation every time, every single time. I think I have gone to a NGO to support some people, also, just to give out food or get my old clothes. I think it has given me a smile, and it has given the other person a smile. I think that are some moments that everyone should have, and I think, yeah, that's something that you should do. Even if you are at a very common place, and just like everyone else, you could do something that might not create a big change for others, but it would for you. That would happen. Yeah.
Wow. I'm glad that people are thinking like this, and it's amazing. I have no words actually. So, Aryan, I would like to ask you, you are, so since the time I have been listening, you are talking about mental health. I know it could be very personal, but would you mind sharing why do you think mental health is so important? Um, that is up to you. If you want, you can. Otherwise, yeah. But it would be great to listen from you why you think that mental health plays such an important role. Whenever you were talking, I heard you saying that in a very, you know, very boldly that this is important. And someone like you, if he believes, I think there must be some story.
Yes, there is. I think there is no but one without a story. Uh, so my story is basically a bit of my mistakes, my guilt. When I lost my grandmother in 2020, and I was not able to fulfill the last thing that she said to me. That has a guilt on me, and that still goes in like every day. Sometimes I think about it and still get sad that I was not able to do that. Um, so that created a guilt after that, and even my family situation got a little bit bad. So yeah, so my mental health journey kind of started from there onwards, and then came the misunderstanding, misarguments. Even in 11th, I wanted to do arts as a stream, but my school wasn't offering arts as a stream, and even the schools in Raipur in general wasn't offering, and the school which are were like too high for my fees, and like too high, too expensive for me. So I wasn't able to do that, and I was angry at everyone. Plus, I had my own struggles too. Due to because of this, I had to go therapy as well. So all these things kind of troubled me. And so to to make sure ki like I am at a stable position, I started doing voluntary and writing, two main things, and dance is also being a constant thing that pulled me out to everything. Like dance is was one of my soul saviors, along with my two trip friends. So with dance and and with my friends, I had my own journey straightened out, and I'm glad I did because it was one of the most difficult periods, and the last 2 years have impacted me very, very much, as well as it did to so many other people that I've known and talked to. So I think in the last 2 years, I've known the importance of having hobbies, having friends, be what is actually being introverted and what is just keeping you self introverted. I have known that difference. I have known that social media is a part of a gimmick that everyone plays in. Uh, Activism on social media is just a gimmick. I have known all these things. I got to know all these things by even trying and missing out. Like I did try to do like activism, like speeches on social media, and just I even doing that like 6 7 months, I realized that what I was doing in social media had zero impact on what I was trying to do. So I got on ground. I got with people, got with NGOs, did some groundwork, grunt work. I gone in slums. I distributed food and clothes, talked to people, held some mental health sessions. And after doing that, I think I realized that this whole gimmick that we have, created in social media, that we are talking about new ideas, new things. I think it's bit too early, and we have to came to the actual. We have to, we as teenagers are especially Gen Z, are really misguided through the social media tantrums. And to be honest, why so many mental health problems are growing in this country, whatever someone says, is social media, because it's just making us feel left behind on everything, that somehow, whether you actually measure it or not, the stats doesn't care. It affects you deeply inside your brain, and you can't check it, but yeah, it does, and it can cause severe problems. So keep yourself detox from social media as much as you can, and spend some time with actual people, not just going through posts or news through social media. It's one of the most waste of time, and waste of pure energy or precious energy, and that is very hard to keep this time. So I think uh, therapy of therapy offers also a viable solution, but volunteering, writing, having hobbies does more than therapy to you. Therapy is always an option, but always keep these things, family, friends, your hobbies, yourself first, rather than going on these things. Thank you. That's what's my mental health thing that I have learned, to be honest.
Great. How the support of your parents have been in this journey?
Like frankly honest, like I never really asked for their support, and that was one of my biggest mistakes. Not talking to my parents. It was one of my biggest mistakes, that I did a lot of unnecessary arguments and quarrels to my parents, just to just because I was hating them for not letting me go into arts. And that was one of the worst things, that I spent about an year hating them. No, you didn't want it, you didn't let me do anything, and wasn't trying to actually convey the problem why I was feeling that. So after all the tantrums, all that quarrels, or that fights, I think me and my mom had a really long talk about 2-3 hours straight on these topics. And after that, somehow I got that support and love and care that I genuinely wanted, and uh, it has been good since then. I made new friends. I did more work as in a professional too. I got a bit more success in both personal and professional life, and I made new memories and moments, and that's precious.
I'm glad you had the conversation with your mom. I mean, that really helped. So for me, I guess I have been always an extrovert, and I have always shared whatever problems I have. So this is the safe space session once we had, and where we actually discuss whatever issues I have. I share it with every close person, mostly my friends, my mom, my nephew and niece. So, and I went out and it feels really good. Of course, I go for therapy because as an entrepreneur, the journey is so difficult and it's lonely, right? And every day there is something or the other that you have to do. So like talking to a therapist is very normal for me. I talk to her and I feel good after talking. Like she has been a great support in my journey as well. So let's move on to our last section, which is rapid fire round. So as Aryan, you are like, first time, so I will ask questions to um Bhargavi first, and then we'll move on to you. Is it all right with you, Bhargavi?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, describe yourself in a hashtag.
Hashtag moody.
Sorry.
Yeah,
What's the one
mood.
thing, yeah, what's the one thing people don't know about you?
Uh, that I watch one animated YouTube channel which is like very childish and only 7 years kids should watch, but I watch it. It's my guilty pleasure.
Is it Peppa Pig?
It's not just one. There are so many.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited you are about your life? I can say 10, I'm damn sure. Aren't you?
Yeah, I am now. I am not. I weren't. I wasn't like last year, but I am now.
What is the most adventurous thing you have ever done?
Most adventurous thing. I guess I've gone to scuba diving, but
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
yeah,
Even
but I was young at that time, so it wasn't that deep. But yeah, That's one thing I can think of.
A book you love.
It's like, oh wait, Flowers for Algernon. It's a story about a mentally retarded person who has like, it's a science fictional book. It's fun to read.
Okay. Oh, great.
It's his diary. It's basically his diary.
Okay. So one thing you like about ThatMate app.
That it really promotes positivity and like mental health awareness, as far as I know.
Cool. Thank you so much. That was an excellent rapid fire round. Let's see how Aryan performs. We are not going to give any hamper to you guys, but yeah, it will be better.
Your love is your love is enough.
I love a lot of love to you then. So, Aryan, this is your first
Yeah,
amazing. I hope you give me amazing answers that are very controversial also.
yeah,
Okay.
yes, yeah.
What's your wake up ritual?
Wake up ritual. Nothing, just like a normal teenager, getting up, looking at my phone, going to school, or just going in bathroom. Nothing else. Very simple.
Current TV OTT obsession.
Uh, Friends, Two Pro Girls, and a lot of rom-coms. I love rom-coms.
Oh, I also love them. Holiday is my favorite. So yeah. Uh, what's your secret talent?
Secret talent that I can do a lot of like girly things.
Oh, what's inspiring you right now?
Inspiring you? No, I'm not inspired.
You're not inspired. Okay.
I'm not inspired.
How do you find beauty? Like define beauty.
I think my definition of beauty is like really different from everyone. For me, beauty consists outside face, and to be honest, I mostly look at nature to find new sources of beauty. And to be honest, like spending time with a person, or the energy that they give me, with that's the real beauty that I've ever enjoyed with anybody.
Okay, that's interesting. One food you can eat forever.
Maggie.
Maggie?
Sorry, it would, yeah, it would degrade my health, but Maggie.
Is it Atta Maggie then?
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what is the first word that comes to your mind when you hear the following words? Okay, periods,
Period. Taboo topic still in India should not be taboo.
depression,
Depression, anxiety,
relationships,
complications, heartbreak,
exams,
exams, pressure
social media,
should be avoided.
India.
India, lot of things, army, food, anything.
Okay. So what is the one thing that you like about ThatMate app the most? Or that
I think it, I think that Mate app, since I've used, it's it's of course a really good social media app, and yeah, it promotes positivity and like mental health. So it's cute and it's good to be in. Like even if I compare to Instagram or something else, it's cute. It's a good social media app.
and what do you think we can make like if we can improve it? What is the one thing that we should actually have it on the app so that more and more people are using it and are talking about it? How we can do that?
I don't think I've used ThatMate to be honest much. I've just used for a couple of days as well because my practicals are going on, so I can't have a opinion on that right now. Sorry.
Okay, no problem, no problem. So yeah, so here we are. Thank you so much for joining in. It was a pleasure talking to both of you, and actually Mubeen also, he's not here today, but so much insights and I hope by next 10 years, we at least get 1% of what we wanted from India, and at least 1% of what we want to do for the country. We do it. Like at least कचरा तो हम कूड़ादान में फेंकें, और right, और टाइम पे जाए हर जगह. That is what we can do, and that is what is in our hands. So yeah, I think thank you guys, and hopefully we'll see you next time as well for any other session that is talking about something else.